life. Buckle up for a ride into my day-to-day life where I'll be sharing all the things from faith to fitness, crushing goals to homeschooling, wellness to organizing, and everything in between.
Hello, guys. So I am filming today, and if you're watching me, on my video, you will see I was doing a little dance, a little happy jig to my intro music because I am just so happy to be here, you guys. I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I love bringing you my podcast every week. It just brings me so much joy, so much happiness. I feel it's a way I can serve my community and I can just be a light, just be a positive, uplifting, bringing the little bit of knowledge I have, on this platform, for people for free, and it brings me joy. With that, I always do like to mention though, that because I do not monetize this podcast, I would love for you to share it far and wide. Even if I did monetize it, I'd be asking you to share it. But the best thing that you can do to help me out is to share the podcast. Share it. If you like what you heard, share it with your friends, share it on social media, tag me, because that helps. That helps so much. Leave a review, subscribe, tell your friends, all those things, okay? But let's dig in today because I'm excited about today's topic. So if you do follow me on social media, which hopefully you do, if you don't yet, I am Jama Robs on Instagram. So JAMAROBS. Fun fact, that stands for Jason, Amanda, Michael, and Andrew Roberts. Jama Robs. It's a little acronym. I don't know why. It's just something that I don't know. It's just something we came up with as a family. It's fun. So it represents my family. My family represents me. Okay. So that's my handle on Instagram. I also have a Ducks in a Row Facebook page, professional Facebook page. And you can also find me on Facebook under Amanda Roberts. I am not on Twitter or any of those other fun things. I do have a YouTube channel as well, which I believe is under Ducks in a Row. So look me up there if you want to, because I post my videos of this podcast on there. So back to what I was saying. If you follow me on social media, then you know that for the past week, because we are now 1 week into the beautiful month of March, which I do love, okay? If you happen to catch this at another time, whenever it's not March, and I'm talking about spring cleaning, you're going to be like, what? But anybody can spring clean at any time, especially when you're taking the perspective that I am, in this case today, in bringing you this podcast. It can apply to you at any month, any year, whenever, okay? But we are approaching the beautiful season of spring, and I am just so obsessed with spring. It is my favorite season. Just at church on Sunday, a friend of mine told me that she's like, did you know today is a national holiday? And I'm like, what? I mean, she probably did not say national holiday. She probably just said holiday. You know today's a holiday? No, I didn't. I said, and she's like, yeah, it's First Robin Day. And I was like, First Robin Day? What is this? I have never heard of First Robin Day. And she's like, it's the day that I spotted my first robin of the season. And I love First Robin Day. It's like my favorite day of the year. And she's a fellow homeschool mama like myself. And she's like, and it was Sunday, right? She's like, but when it doesn't fall on a weekend and it falls through the week, we take the day off and we go get ice cream and we celebrate First Robin Day. And I'm like, I love you. If I didn't already love you, I love you more because you are speaking my language. That is so me. I am going to now celebrate First Robin Day. I actually have not seen my first one yet. So that holiday for me is hopefully coming up this week. But anyway, all of that to say, spring is my favorite and spring cleaning is not my favorite. I do not like to clean. I am a professional organizer. I am not a professional cleaner. They are two very different things. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to get my husband to hire me someone to come deep clean my house for my birthday in April because I do not want to do it. But here's what I did learn and have learned about spring cleaning. that it is very, very important to get yourself ready for spring cleaning in many different ways. And one of them is to make sure that you are decluttering. It is very important to declutter and to organize before you clean. And I know this as a professional organizer for 6.5 years, because when I would go into clients' houses and it was a cluttery mess, I would think to myself, boy, it's probably pretty hard for you to clean in here, you know? And I might not have always said that, but they also would share with me that it's hard to keep my house clean because I have too much clutter. Those two things go hand in hand. And as much as I despise cleaning and love organizing, I do recognize that they go hand in hand. And to get a nice clean house, it needs to be decluttered and it needs to be organized, it needs to be tidy in that way, right? And same goes for when your house is neat and tidy, then it's easier to clean. So they go hand in hand. And so when I take the approach of spring cleaning, because I am not a professional cleaner, I'm a professional organizer, then I take the approach of organizing and the importance, and try to highlight the importance of getting your house organized, decluttered, and tidy before you pick up that broom and dustpan. Okay, so that's our topic for today, is spring cleaning with meaning. So the challenge that I started on March 1st, last Monday, was spring cleaning with meaning. So if you don't follow me on social, make sure that you do, so that you can follow along with this challenge and participate, or take notes for when you want to go ahead and get started with it for yourself. Okay, so what is spring cleaning with meaning? What does that mean, right? So I've been trying to, like I said, I've been trying to share it a lot, but sometimes it's easier to just hear my voice and see my face, and it's not just in a reel or in a post. It is actually, you know, a video of me speaking to you or an audio of my podcast, okay? So a lot of what that means is we need to put meaning to our spring cleaning, and we need to really once and for all get tidy and get clean and get organized and declutter, because that is not only important when entering into the season of spring cleaning, but it's important for our lives, you guys. We are all living in an emotional roller coaster still, as we are approaching a year mark of the COVID shutdown. You know, we are in this time, right? We are still in this time. We are all mentally stressed. We are all spending a lot of time in our houses, probably more than we would necessarily want to. I don't know. Maybe you like spending time in your house. I love spending time in my house. The reason is because it is decluttered and it's tidy and it's organized. And I'm not tooting my own horn when I say that. I'm saying that it takes discipline and it takes dedication. And it is just, I just recognize the importance of it. And so I make sure to practice that for my mental health. Mental health and organizing go so perfectly together. If you don't know that already, hi, newsflash, here I am, Amanda, telling you that. It is so interconnected, which is why, as a master's level social worker, I've been able to successfully run an organizing business for 6.5 years, because they are married. You guys, mental health and clutter and organization are married. Very much married, and they need to be able to get along. They need to go hand in hand, and they need to be worked out together at the same time. Okay, so when we're talking about spring cleaning, we're talking about getting decluttered, we're talking about trying to work on our mental health as well. And one of the things that's going to help you with that is to have a clean, tidy, beautiful home that is decluttered and has everything in its place. A place for everything and everything in its place. I know you heard your grandmother say that when you were a kid, right? I hope so. So it's important, you guys. It's so important. And I'm here to help you along this journey for the rest of this month. I want to be here to help you get this done, you guys. And maybe you're going to actually clean as you go, but the things that I'm sharing are solely just decluttering. I'm not showing you any kind of special cleaning DIY or no, I'm not doing that. I am showing you tips and strategies to declutter. Today, this episode has a little bit more to do with the mind decluttering as well. Okay, but if you're following me on social, this is how I have it broken down for the 4 weeks of March and how we are going to go about doing this. So last week we did the office, we did the family room, and we did the foyer. Okay, so I'm taking 3 rooms a week. Last year, when COVID hit and everything shut down, I actually spring cleaned my house, you guys. And when I say that, I mean I actually got the broom and the dustpan out, and I wiped my walls, and I cleaned my floors, and I did all of the deep cleaning. I had the time, so I did it, right? And so I kind of channeled that last year. And how did I break that down? I did about 3 rooms a week because some of the rooms take more than one day. So that's how I broke it down here for us in doing this in the decluttering world, okay? So last week we did the office, the family room, and the foyer, and go back on my socials and check out how exactly I did that. I'm not going to go over that specifically, but in the office, I gave a number of tips. And in the family room, I gave a number of tips. And even in the foyer and entryway, I gave a number of tips. The office obviously is a highly used area usually, in a highly cluttered area usually. So that was my kind of my big ticket room for the week. The kind of middle of the road ticket was middle of the road room was the family room, because it can be cluttered, but maybe not also. And then the foyer and entryway, sometimes people don't have any clutter in there, right? And they don't need any storage solutions. So that's kind of like the lower ticket item for the week. But those are the 3 that I picked last week. Like I said, excuse me, go back on my socials and check that out. I have reels and videos up of the couple little tips that I did. It's fun. It's a fun little thing to check out. So make sure you go back and check those out if you want some of my tips for those areas for decluttering, okay? This week, we're going to do the kitchen, the laundry room, and the hallways. Again, kitchen, high ticket. It's probably the largest area to organize in your house and the largest area that gets cluttered in your house. So it's a big one, and that's going to take a couple of days. Now, when I go to share that tip, which is probably tomorrow, when I go to share that tip, though, I'm not necessarily going to take a couple days to share it. I'll share the tips about that in one day, but then it's up to you to kind of work on the other rooms the other days, okay? Laundry can be a little bit cluttered as well. It's kind of more in the middle of the road. And then hallways, you're like thinking hallways, but trust me, I've been in a lot of people's houses where their clothes pile up in the hallway, or this or that piles up in the hallway, and it becomes a drop zone. So it is a place that needs decluttered, right? Okay, and then week 3, we have multi-purpose room or storage areas. My storage area is also a multi-purpose room. So that's why I called it the MPR, or the multi-purpose room. For me, it is a workout room and it is a storage room in one, okay? And that might be the case for some of you. Or you might just have a storage room. It's a whole room dedicated to storage, which is fabulous. Wish my house was big enough for that, but it's not. And then also the pantry, which is a large ticket item too, because you have a lot of, organizing that you need to do in there as well. And then dining room. So a lot of times dining room might not be bad, although a lot of people do acquire clutter on their dining room tables. I've seen that a lot too in the years of business. Okay. So those are week 3. And then week 4 is bedrooms, family room, and, I did family room. Oh my gosh. Bedrooms and living room, and bathroom. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Excuse me. I'm looking at my notes, but I had something written down incorrectly. So bedrooms are a pretty big one, and there's several of them, but the biggest thing that gets decluttered in there are like closets and clothing storage typically. So I will be addressing that when we do bedrooms. And then bathroom, a lot of times it's just the bathroom closet or under the sink. So we'll address that there. And then living room is going to be similar to the family room. And I'll have some tips for that area as well. So that's how I have broken down the spaces in your house. So again, when I cleaned last year, actually cleaned with my rag, that was how I broke it down. I broke it down into rooms and into weeks, and just kind of little bits off as I went, right? And so that's how we're doing it with this decluttering challenge, the spring cleaning with meaning. And my hope for you guys as you're doing this, it is so important. And this is just a little piece I'm going to add to the end of this podcast. It's not going to be a real long one today, unless I get a little long-winded here right now as I'm talking about the importance of getting organized for your mental health. It is just, I can't tell you how many times I tell people what I do for a living, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, I love to be organized. I love to declutter. I love to have my house in order. It just helps my mental health so much. This is literally the words that I hear every single time I tell people that I'm a professional organizer, and that I have a professional organizing business, and that I counsel around organizing and having an organized mind and an organized life, they are just like, yes, it's so true. Because whenever I'm organized and when I know I am, my house is in order, everything else is in order. My mind is in order. My life is in order. And it seems so silly because I know there's a lot of people that might have a disorganized house, but they're super successful. And maybe in their office, they are super organized and they're able to keep appointments really well. And they're super productive, right? Productivity is another big thing when it comes to this. So yeah, maybe that's true, but chances are if your space is cluttered, there is something else going on in your life that is cluttered. Very large chance. Now, again, I cannot make blanket statements because I don't know everybody's situation all the time, but in most cases, that's the situation. People are dealing with clutter in one way or another, and their house might even be organized, but something else in their mind isn't, or something else in their life isn't. It is very common to have that, okay? To have something be decluttered or something cluttered somewhere in your life, and freeing yourself of that clutter is just what you need to get you back on the path and on the track and on the trajectory that you're working towards. Chances are, okay? So I'm just throwing that out there. And I'm so excited to be doing this challenge this month because I want people to come along with me and do this. And again, if you're listening to this in July, right, and you're like, spring cleaning, no, that's fine, but do it anyway. Get on track with this, you guys. Get on track with becoming organized. I cannot stress you enough how important that is. And if your house is organized, but you're listening to this, you're watching this, you're like, Amanda, my house isn't bad, but man, my mind, whoo, if you could see how disorganized that is. I have 100 tabs open at one time, and they're all running, and I don't have ducks in a row. They're all over the pond and some of them are flying away. And it might not pertain to your physical space, but maybe it pertains to your mental space or your relationship space or your spiritual space or whatever other space is going on in your life, and you are finding mental clutter in those areas. That's what I do, guys. That's what I help with. I don't just help in your physical space. I do. Obviously, Ducks in a Row was founded on that, but I'm taking it a step further and I'm trying to come to you guys with what other clutter do you have going on and how can we tackle that clutter? What can we do with that mental clutter and that life clutter that you've got going on? And so that is why it's so important, the spring cleaning with meaning, guys. And maybe you don't need, again, like I said, maybe you don't need the actual physical decluttering in the spring cleaning with meaning, but maybe that meaning to you is the meaning for your life and is the meaning for finally getting decluttered in your mind, right? And that's what that spring cleaning with meaning is. Let's start fresh in this beautiful season of spring. That is my favorite. Let's start fresh with it, you guys. Let's start fresh and bring meaning. There's never a wrong time to not just declutter your house and clean your house, but declutter your mind and clean your mind and get yourself prepared to enter into this new season, this fresh new season of blooming, of rebirth, and be reborn in your purpose and what God has you here for, and figure out what clutter is holding you back, right? And can be weeded out to get you where you need to be. So a lot of people have asked, and I'm just going to give this last little plug here. A lot of people have asked what exactly it is I can do to help, because here I am online and on my podcast, spitting out all this information, and it's so helpful for people. I know it is, and I'm so thankful for it that I can be that help for people. But people want to know what's more. What else? What else do you have? What's more here? I need you for a little more, right? So I'm going to take the last couple minutes here to just kind of explain what I've got going on right now. That in case you do need more, and you need more than just this podcast, and you need more than to just follow along on my socials with this challenge, let me tell you what I have. I first of all have, if you want to participate in the spring cleaning with meaning, and you want a little more with just the spring cleaning with meaning, right? What you can do is contact me in the many ways I can be contacted. DMs, email, a comment on this podcast, whatever it is, okay? Reach out to me and let me know, because what I am offering is a 1-hour consult, okay? And what happens during that consult is we're going to talk on the phone. You're going to send me some photos, and we are going to explore your problem area. Now, when I first had this thought, I was like, problem area probably being like your pantry, right? Okay. Or your bedroom closet, okay? And what solutions can I offer? How can I help you declutter that space? How can I help you let go of the items in that area? And then what systems can we put in place to make sure you stay organized? But let's take that a step further. And maybe when I'm talking about mental clarity and mental decluttering, maybe that spoke to you today. And you're like, I want that hour consult with you to help you map out, or have you help me map out what it might look like to get my mind decluttered and my life decluttered. Amanda, I need that from you, okay? And so it works the same. In any case, if you're doing spring cleaning with meaning and you want that hour consult, reach out to me. Let's talk about what that looks like, what that's going to look like for you, and what I have to offer when it comes to that. It's 1 hour. It's not even a huge commitment, right? You're only committing to an hour with me, and you'd be surprised the value I can give in that hour. And obviously this is going to be virtual. And so, we can look at what that would look like as well. So that's the one thing I'm offering. I'm also offering a group setting and a group kind of, session, if you will, if that makes sense. And that is over on my duck pond on Mighty Networks. I'm still kind of getting that launched and up and running, but it's there, and I'm ready to plug you into a group. If you want to be in a group with me and you want to go through, it's about, I think I have it set up right now for about 4 weeks as a group session. We're going to be going through decluttering your mind and what that looks like, what exactly that looks like, and how that can help you, right? And it's fun to do a group setting because you might be able to bounce ideas off of other people, or you can just sit there quietly with your screen off and listen to what I have to say. That's up to you. But that is another thing I'm offering. Again, that's over my duck pond on Mighty Networks. I'm kind of still getting that up and running, but if that's something that you are interested in, I will get you on my list for that, and I'll plug you into that. And like I said, we will be going through specifics on how to declutter your mind and the 4 steps in my 4-step program that helps you kind of declutter your mind, declutter your life, and go about it that way. And then the last thing is, if you just kind of need, not the last thing, and this kind of goes hand in hand, I'm still offering, obviously, I have my wonderful girl, Morgan, my assistant, who is going out and doing hands-on in-person decluttering and organizing for people in our area. So if you're local to me, then that pertains to you. We also are doing that virtually. And then I am also taking on clients kind of along with that is more on that mental health piece. But you become my client like you would if I was coming to see you in your home and decluttering your home. But we're working on the mental piece and the organizing of that. And it's more like a coaching session with me, or a counseling session with me, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. And again, that can be tailored and set up to you and your needs and your budget and everything, right? So that's kind of the other piece that I'm offering right now, and can be used as counseling, as coaching, as a mixture of both for home clutter, mind clutter, life clutter. Okay. So that's what I have to offer to you guys when it comes to how we can tackle not only spring cleaning with meaning, but just your life in general, and how mind clutter or how physical clutter is holding you back, bogging you down, and not allowing you to reach your goals and just reach the life that God has for you, you have for yourself, and you're ready to go after. And